I'd now like to welcome Ms. Kiran Bedi into the panel tonight. Ms. Kiran Bedi, TSR Subramaniam, former Cabinet Secretary. Chetan Bhagat, one of India's best-known columnists and authors, best-selling author. Dr. Jagannath is a Lok Sabha member of Parliament of the Congress Party. Anupam Gupta is a senior advocate from Chandigarh who has been talking about the threats being faced by Ashok Khemka, who's live with us tonight, and Nirmala Sitharaman, spokesperson of the BJP. Rashid Kidwai, senior journalist of the Telegraph, is joining us from Bhopal. Thank you. It's a big panel tonight. Kiran Bedi, what do you make of it? What do you make of the manner in which Mr. Ashok Khemka is literally being hounded?
I think this is the rule almost. What Dr. Khemka has faced is the rule. Having been allowed to work would have been probably an honorable exception. I'm very glad that Dr. Khemka's case comes to so much of absolutely searchlight. I have a case where an IAS topper of Punjab belonging to Andhra Pradesh opted for Punjab cadre, was transferred 7 times in 1 year in Punjab cadre.
Absolutely.
And another officer who was transferred and returned 2 days after to the same post. So what I'm trying to say, this is the rule and not an exception, because no corruption can take place without the bureaucracy conniving with the politicians. Or, in fact, we are targeting only the politicians. The day we start also exposing the bureaucrats, only then will the system change, not otherwise. I think we are being protective of the bureaucrats and exposing politicians, in fact, beyond a line. I think we need to expose both, because without the connivance of both, corruption to this extent would not happen at all in this country. So Dr. Khemka's case is not an exception. It is a rule. It's honorable few honest people who are thriving, the very honorable few. By and large, it is a nexus between bureaucracy and the politician which is causing these scams. The day the bureaucracy decides not to participate in the scams, India will not have these scams. These politicians will get isolated.
Truly. And TSR Subramaniam, you know, as someone who's a senior in the IAS and you held the highest post of Cabinet Secretary, it is most unfortunate that Ashok Khemka, who is, by the way, a PhD from the Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, one of the best students of IIT Kharagpur, a product of the meritocracy of India, is fighting this battle against a system which is protecting Robert Vadra. TSR Subramaniam, what would you say to your IAS colleague Ashok Khemka tonight?
Well, Arnab, I would pick it up from where Kiran Bedi left off, even though I may not be as pessimistic about her assessment. Fortunately, this country has a large number of Ashok Khemkas. This country is running largely because of these people, but what she said is also true. In every district, the problem is particularly acute in states, and the Bimari is coming to Delhi also in a very big way. In every state, it is the sand mafia, it is the land mafia, it is the forest mafia, it is the liquor mafia. There are 10 or 20 standard mafias there, depending on the local resources, etc., etc. They call the shots. They decide how long district magistrates should be there, whether a particular land change approval, land use approval can be given or not. Now, therefore, this case has come into being. I'm very happy in a sense, because this is a major malaise. Santanam Committee in 1962 talked of fixed tenure, and since then the Chief Minister's Conference in 96, when I was Cabinet Secretary, passed a resolution on fixed tenure. And then the Moily Commission now, if you have fixed tenure, scientific management, and every every telephonic verbal instruction recorded, 90% of the problem will get sorted out. So the first point I would like to make is that I'm very happy the problem has come in now. We need now that instruments should not be blunted. Kiran is correct. We should ensure that people like Khemka are given space to function, number one. Number two, Khemka moved 40 times in 20 years.
Yes.
Why? If he is bad in one job, try him out in the second job. If he is bad there, throw him out. I am told that he has been empanelled for the Government of India Joint Secretaryship, which is a very tough empanelment. 1 in 3 gets impaneled. They look at the merit. They also look at integrity. So this clearly is a first indicator. Now, how can a state... We all know how these transfers take place. The average tenure of a district magistrate 5 years back was computed as 6 months. Superintendent of police, 5 months. How do you run an administration before he can even go to each district,
there will be
tehsil town, the man is thrown out.
There will be
two more short points I would make.
No, may I just
if
go?
I were consolidation commissioner,
Yes,
and well, let us for a moment assume that Vadra is a private citizen, which no sensible Indian can agree to. But let us for a moment assume that. Let us also assume that DLF is a private entity. It is not a listed company. The health of our stock market depends on the health of every individual constituent, and therefore assume all that. If I am consolidation commissioner, if I am land commissioner, and a public charge is made that your office has connived at all kinds of wrong things, the first thing I will do is to jump into an open inquiry. I want to make sure whether the allegation is right, the allegation is wrong. If it is wrong, I will go to the press and say, it's a bad allegation, please withdraw it. And therefore, I think what he has done is absolutely correct, and I don't think he can be pilloried there. I am astonished that your SEBI, so many agencies here have not jumped to investigate it is not even talked about. It's a public listed company. We want FDI to come to India, and we must know, the country should know. Has that company done any favors? Has it been above board or not? It is very important for this to be established.
Absolutely.
Now, lastly, this is not a private matter. This is now in public space. Every fact must come out. It must be a credible inquiry. It must be a fair inquiry. We need everything to come out. After all this, in Haryana, we may get a fair inquiry, but it won't be credible.
First of all, we have made some points here. This one point is he's a private individual. How many private individuals have half the cabinet making a beeline to defend them? How many private individuals has the governor of a state rushing to his defense, unmindful of his constitutional position? How many do? Chetan Bhagat wants to come in. Chetan, yes, quickly please.
See, Arnav, I think the Congress is handling this very badly. They're losing the plot on this, and like on this private discussion, and often they give the argument, everyone's innocent until proven guilty. They talk of jurisprudence, they put lawyers there, very glib, but they miss a point that this is a very unethical act what he's done. Every profession comes with ethics. When you go to a doctor, he has to fix you immediately. If he doesn't for a few days, it's not illegal, but it's just wrong. Same for a news anchor. There are certain ethics and there are laws without which society can't function. And when it is the first family, it is expected that you will not take favors that will turn into obligations. Every time you take a big favor, it's not illegal to make friends with DLF. It's not illegal to take a cheap apartment. But once you take it, tomorrow they're going to ask you to do something and you will compromise people's interest in it. And that's what's happened. When you've taken 300 crores of benefit, that itself is wrong. Does Miss Sonia Gandhi know about this? Does she feel it's okay for every politician to find sweet deals for their son-in-laws? That is a very big issue. And if people know this, and people are finding out by the hour, Congress will pay a heavy price for this, and that just remains to be seen. And now this act of trying to transfer him when he's asked for an inquiry within 2 days, it clearly means they have something to hide.
Absolutely. Well,
why do they have to transfer him on the request?
That is a valid question, and I would like to put that. To our Congress representative tonight, and Ashok Khemka. I hope you are listening tonight. I know, Ashok Khemka, that answering some questions you in fact broke down. You talked about the pressure that your family faces. You talked about your children. But I think maybe many would say tonight that your children and your family should be proud of you for standing up in the way that you have.
I think India is proud of you, Mr. Khemka. I think you are a hero and you are a role model for children, including my own children. So I think you should be very proud of what you've done, and we will fix India if we have people like you. And I do agree that many bureaucrats, I have many batchmates of mine who work very hard for very little money and suffer a lot of bullying by these netas. And today I'm glad, and I hope your entire community rallies behind and makes some reforms that you guys deserve.
Ashok Khemka, I hope you heard there, Chetan Bhagat. sincerely making that point to you tonight.
Thank you so much, Chetan, and thank you for sir also, Mr. Subramaniam.
I just wanted you to hear that, because Ashok, you might feel there sitting in Chandigarh that you're all alone. There are a lot of experienced people who are listening to your case and saying, let's make an example of it. Nirmala Sitharaman, just before I come to you, I want to know tonight whether our Congress representative, Dr. Jagannathan, has any logical explanation at all for the sheer coincidence, Dr. Jagannathan, that within hours after Ashok Khemka seeks registration data related to Robert Vadra's land dealings, he served a transfer order by the Congress-run government at 10 p.m. at night? What is the desperation? What is the nervousness there, Dr. Jagannathan?
No, you see, usually when the inquiries are ordered, this will go on. So it should not be linked with Mr. Khemka's transfer. And I would like to ask Mr. Khemka, what was the reasons? See, he is a sincere officer, okay, we agreed. The Haryana government also not said anything against him, saying that corrupt or something, a fraudulent man. But what was the reason for in 20 years he was having 43 transfers? He should introspect. This is when a highly reputed IAS officer, all of you felt, for which we too will feel happy. The country should have such.
No, so what are you saying, Dr. Jagannathan?
What was the reason? So
what are you saying? What are you indicating?
He got transferred for 40 times.
Does it not appear to you that he took...
Now this is...
No, 1 second. I want Dr. Khemka to respond. Dr. Khemka, the Congress MP is asking you tonight...
No, it seems...
No, you're asked a question. Okay,
it seems he has asked... The High Court has directed... He has agreed for his transfer...
That's wrong.
And that is the government has obliged that one.
That's wrong.
Then
you are wrong, Mr. Jagannathan.
In transfer,
you are wrong.
This is the government's prerogative to put some person somewhere.
Dr. Jagannathan.
That should not be linked at this juncture because the case is going on.
Dr. Jagannathan, you are wrong.
The case involved.
Dr. Jagannathan, Dr. Jagannathan, you are wrong.
Every IAS officer knows it.
You are wrong. Nowhere has Ashok Khemka asked to be removed from the position of Director General Consolidation. He asked to be removed from some other position. And what the Haryana government did, it removed him from all positions because he was an irritant in the system. Potentially did not want somebody in the system who will question the land dealings of a very powerful person. 1 sec. I want to get Nirmala Sitharaman in at this stage. Nirmala Sitharaman, you'll be raising your hand at this stage. Your response to what the Congress MP is saying tonight. He puts the onus on Ashok Khemka and asks him, why have you been transferred 40 times in 20 years? Who's the onus on, Nirmala?
No, let's just draw the attention of all your viewers. Only a week ago, the Prime Minister of the country said he is going to bring in some amendments into the Prevention of Corruption Act to protect honest officers from being harassed.
Yes.
I'm sure it is necessary considering what is happening in Haryana, but the same Prime Minister and his words are not valued by his own Congress colleagues in Haryana. And if that's the case, I also want equal application of the Prevention of Corruption Act. Much before all this is understood, we also should understand that the Congress party's entire process of managing its affairs has been harass people who ask questions. Just take the recent past. Ramdev was harassed, Anna Hazare was harassed, Kejriwal was harassed. Then you know about the CAG, about whom in Congress I hardly have anyone left behind who have not abused the CAG for what he is doing.